Hi, this is the Price Action Analyst. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This was a request from a viewer for Elrond, ERD. I think I have talked about this one before, like done a video on it. It is in my model portfolio. It's not on my active or ideal entry list, and I'll show you why in a sec. I would just start out by noting the first, like the all-time high and the low there, and I've kind of framed up support and resistance lines. You can see the space between them gets bigger as it goes up, and then this is such a strong move up that there was no way to mark the lines here, so I've just kind of marked the high. So as prices come up to that high, you've got weakness off of it, which is expected. And normally you will get a retracement that will come inside and then push out. And I always look around roughly the 50% level. So we've had a bit of a retracement and you've had a push up, and then it's made a series of wicks. So even though this is a strong buying bar, because it's pushing back up into this high area, I wouldn't buy it here. So I'll discuss the most likely, the high probability event first. I expect price now to respect these wicks in this high and to push lower. And so, again, I wouldn't buy it here. I would watch as price pushes lower, and I would wait to see what happens as this pivot is washed. And these pivots here. So if price is pushing down and you've got red bars, there's no sign of substantial buying, then I would just watch price come down into these areas. And so what I'm looking for is, this is substantial buying, but it's too early and it's left a series of wicks. But what I'm really waiting for is substantial buying somewhere in this area. So you can just buy when it gets here. You need some sort of, I wouldn't buy just because it's in this wick. Again, you need to see what price action looks like when it comes down here. If it comes down here and it leaves a big wick, then you can get long within that wick, again, depending on where it is. But basically, I just want to, if price action continues down, I just want to keep watching it and wait and see what happens here. And so, if we get substantial buying pressure here, I would probably do a video, and then it would move to my ideal entry alert list. In the meantime, I would kind of frame up the price action. So you might even get, something that meanders along this sort of trajectory. But again, you don't know exactly what it's going to look like. You can put a trend line off that pivot, but if price comes down here and washes this pivot, it's also testing this trend line. So again, I'm not just going to go long here automatically. I want to see what happens when it gets down here, but this is going to be the area that I expect to see buying pressure. So if I see buying pressure here, that's probably where I would get long. So the short of that is I wouldn't buy here, and I would just wait to see price action. Now, if we get a low probability event, so let's say price just busts up here, if you get a big buying bar and it closes at the high, this is indicative that it's going to push higher. So if you really want to get into the coin, it would have to be, for me to get into the coin, there would have to be a buying bar that closes at its high, and the next day it opens, above or close to that high, and it starts to push up. Then I might take the risk and get in. And the risk is that price cycles back down. So, if you're holding that crypto for the long term, if price starts to immediately push against you, you can just exit for a small loss, or you can ride that down and see, if price is going to come back inside, see what happens. But, if you get a buying bar up here and you buy it and you buy it and price starts to roll over and starts to look weak. So how would you know if it looks weak? You'd go to a lower time frame, like hourly bars or half-hour bars. If the selling bars start to look bigger than the buying bars and they push inside this line, then you could just exit. and that is a risk of chasing price. But that is the low probability event, and that's the only way that I would sort of get long here. Price has to look very strong. So the bar has to close on its high, and then the next day I would look at what's happening. Because the thing is, if you're intraday and the bar's up here and you buy it here, it's gonna form one of these. You know, this bar was a full blue bar here, and it looked very strong, and everyone's buying, and now they're having to decide whether to sell or not. But everyone that bought up here is now trapped, and they're losing money. So as this pushes down, you know, when you see this start to accelerate, it's because people are starting to get, you know, they're losing more and more, and they're hitting the sell button. And basically you're looking for the area where that selling is exhausted, or it's overcome by buying interest. And so that's usually somewhere like that. Price may never get down to this area, but if it does get down to this area, you know, sometimes it'll pop down here and you'll get buying strength off of that. So, you know, if it gets down here, watch that level. It doesn't look like it will. This is quite a strong move up. Also, you know, you've got your volume spikes on the buying, which is good, and now your volume's dropping off. So yeah, I just wait to see there. But again, this, you know, for people that are subscribing to the service, this cryptocurrency is on the model portfolio, which means we'd want to own it at some stage. But the way I structure it is that you can wait until you get an ideal entry alert, and then that becomes a good place to enter the coin. So might be listed on the model portfolio, but that doesn't mean you just buy it right away. Again, you can wait until you get an alert to take a position in the coin. I think that's everything that I would have to say about that. It's a very strong move. With that type of move, I think this is eventually, you know, if you get the right price action I've just described and a push out of here with strengths, this is going to make all-time high. It's going to make new highs, and so that's, you know, that's why when I saw this, I put this coin in our model portfolio, because I think long term you want to hold it, especially if it pushes out of here and it starts making new highs and keeps going up. And I think it'll do that, because if you project that price action, let's say the lows here, you know, that breakout, when that breakout happens, that's a projected move for the breakout. So, you know, if price gets down to this level, let's say we get in here at 135, the projected high is 258, so roughly double. So I like that coin. I'm just, you know, as far as my subscribers are concerned, that we're just waiting for an entry on that coin. So anyways, I hope that's helpful. If you liked the video, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're interested in that sort of service, please look at the subscriber promotional video, which is in the description box. And thanks very much for watching.